I wish we could slow time down, kind of like when we were kids. And today we're going to talk about cultural reflections. And we're going to give you about 10 minutes of a clip of a show that used to play in the 1950s. Actually, it started airing at the end of 1956 and began in 57. And it was called To Tell the Truth. What a refreshing idea that Americans today would want to tell the truth. And the truth was important. And even among politicians. So, without further ado, let's go to today's To Tell the Truth. This is March of 1957. Kitty Carlisle was a longtime member of the show, as well as Ralph Bellamy, and it was her first show. Here we go.
What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real Steve Martini, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Good evening. As you know, we play a game of deliberate misrepresentation here, in which four presumably smart people try to find out which one of three challengers is sworn to tell the truth. Tell the Truth is brought to you each week by Geritol, America's #1 tonic, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. Right now, let's meet our cross-examiner. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Burton.
I'm Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And I'm High Gardner.
I can attest that these people are telling nothing but the truth.
And that was the name of the original pilot show, Nothing But the Truth.
Now, these three people all claim to be Steve Martini. Of course, only one is the real Steve Martini. The other two have assumed that identity, and of course, they do not have to stick to the truth. Now, panel, in front of you, there is a copy of an affidavit. Will you please listen while I read it? I, Steve Martini, am a barber, and I own 3 barbershops and a beauty salon in and around Washington, D.C. I have cut the hair of many famous people, including General Marshall, Press Secretary James Haggerty, and Vice President Nixon. Perhaps the most interesting thing about me, however, is the fact that I am the personal barber for President Dwight D. Eisenhower. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Steve Martini. Now, we'll get along with our game in just game, panel. These three people all claim to be Steve Martini, President Eisenhower's personal barber. Remember that the real Steve Martini is the only one required to answer your questions truthfully. Now, you will each question until you hear this signal, and at the end of the questioning period, you will be asked to register your vote as to which one, in your opinion, is the real Steve Martini. And let's start tonight with Polly Burton. Polly?
Number 2, do you charge less for a haircut if the man doesn't have very much hair?
No.
You don't? It's the same, huh? Doesn't seem fair somehow. Number 1, could you tell me what do you charge President Eisenhower for a haircut?
The same as we charge anyone else, because that's when a barber goes out to give a haircut, we pay the same price.
I see. Are you a Democrat or a Republican, sir?
I'm in the middle of the road.
Oh.
Democrat.
You lean more toward being a Republican. Do you find you have less to talk about when you're talking to a Democrat?
No, they're both very interesting.
Number 3, could you tell me, where does General Marshall live? Where is his home?
Well, his home is in Arlington, Virginia.
Ralph Bellamy.
Number 3, you seem to have a kind of a suntan there. You didn't get that on the golf course, did you?
Yes, I play a little golf.
You do. I wonder if you could tell me, number 3, where is the wart on James Haggerty's neck?
I have never seen that wart.
Number 2, who is President Eisenhower's private secretary?
Miss Whitman.
Number 1, answer the same question.
Mrs. Whitman.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, do you also shave President Eisenhower as well as cut his hair?
Sometimes.
Number 1, does he allow you to talk while you're shaving him?
Sometimes.
Does he talk to you?
Oh, yes.
Number 3, could you tell me what idiosyncrasies General Marshall, Vice President Nixon, and Mr. Haggerty share while they're in the barber chair?
Well, I would say that the most talkative is Nixon.
Does he tell you stories?
No, he does not.
Hi, Gardner.
Number 2, I'm going to repeat a question that was asked before. Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Are you asking me?
Number 2.
I primarily am a barber.
Okay, you trim me on that one. Now, number 2, you say you cut the hair of Jim Haggerty. Now, customers generally talk to patrons and vice versa. Has Haggerty got an ulcer?
That I wouldn't know.
Number 2, again, who is Murray Snyder?
Murray Snyder is one of the many politicians around there.
Number 1, who is Murray Snyder?
I'm sorry, Polly.
Gee, I want to know where that ward is. Number 1, do you know about a ward?
I don't recall ever seeing one.
Ralph, are you sure that he's got a ward? By George, it's interesting, though, isn't it? Number 1,
Time is up, I'm sorry to say, but that makes it time to vote. So, panel, without consultation, will you please mark your ballot? And in so doing, select either number 1, number 2, or number 3. May I have the ballot, please? Now remember that the challengers will get $250.
Oh,
for
we
every
did voting
incorrect
ballots
vote.
like
means
that
if
today,
the
right?
entire panel, they may divide from Geritol $1,000. Here is Polly Bergen's ballot.
And
she
by the way,
votes for
Geritol was the wonder
number
tonic
2.
of its day.
Why, Polly?
well, I felt that the gentleman, number 2, knew more about the personalities in Washington than I could get from the other 2 gentlemen.
Ralph Bellamy selected number 3. What was your reason, Ralph?
Well, it was that wart. Jim Haggerty hasn't got a wart. Number 3 looks so... I know him, and I don't think he has a wart. Number 3 was pretty sure of that.
Kitty Carlisle selected number 2. What was your reason, Kitty?
Well, I think number 2 looks trustworthy enough to go near the President of the United States with a razor.
And Hy Gardner voted for number 2. Hy, what was your reason?
Well, I picked on 2. I was a little confused between 2 and 3, but I knew that it might have been one of them because I've never seen a barber yet who had hair.
Which can mean that it can only be number 1.
Well, all right, folks. The votes are in now, and our panel cannot change their collective minds. I hope you won't at home, because right now, let's find out which one of these gentlemen is President Eisenhower's personal barber. Will the real Steve Martini please stand? Well, there's the reputation for all time about bald-headed barbers. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My real name or adopted name, Albert of Fifth Avenue, known probably the country over, and I design and make toupees for men.
I beg your pardon, Ralph?
You didn't make one for number 1.
All right, now, number 3, who are you really and what do you do?
My name is Victor L. Anfuso, now a member of Congress and a Democrat. If I may, I'd like to apologize to President Eisenhower and Mrs. Eisenhower for not being at the White House tonight at the reception which they are giving to congressmen and their wives. I thought it best to come here to make this bipartisan.
Well, gentlemen, I think you'll agree it was worthwhile, too, when you realize that there were 4 incorrect votes for a total of $1,000 from Geritol for you gentlemen to divide. Thank you for being with us. Good night and good luck to you.
And wasn't it interesting how they would take people from Hollywood? I mean, not like the Ralph Bellamy and Kitty Carlisle and Polly Bergen, but they would have people later like Jane Meadows from The Honeymooners, or Tom Poston, Bob Newhart, and they would have people like Marlon Brando, and they would also have people like Dick Van Dyke and Ronald Reagan, and so many more, which made the show interesting, but also gave America the idea of, can you be the correct detective in finding out the real truth, the real identity? Something we don't do today, or we bury. So, cultural reflections. Thought you'd find it interesting. Thanks for joining us. Leave your comments below. Have a great day. Share the Lord Jesus and grow in grace.